Tendo rubbed his palms together. He was actually thinking about doing a similar challenge himself, but Oikawa beat him to it. As of lately, Ushijima had been spending a lot of time at practices with his team, and Tendo could really use some affection right now. Not that the ace wasn't affectionate in his own way. Tendo definitely couldn't complain about that. But the practices were getting longer, and Tendo found himself alone in their home more often than not. And the challenge was harmless enough, so he wasn't worried about hurting the other man. But just in case, he quickly collected all the ingredients to bake Ushijima's favorite cookies. The keys rattled in the lock, and Tendo rejoiced. He quickly hid the cookies, but stayed in the kitchen, trying to look like he was working on some new recipe. It didn't take long before Ushijima walked past the kitchen and waddled into the living room, nearly collapsing on the couch, all without a single word. Poor Toshi. He must be so tired. I feel bad now for the challenge. Well, let's see where this goes. Evening, Toshi. Ushijima jolted awake, raising his eyes to Tendo, confused as if he couldn't remember where he was at first. Oh, evening, Satori. I'm sorry, I didn't notice you. Should I play Heart Pride? Really? I thought it's pretty hard to miss me, with my hair and all. Ushijima bowed his head, rubbing his eyes. I'm terribly sorry. I'm tired. Tendo walked slowly to the slumped-over figure of his boyfriend and sat next to him, gently kneading his shoulder. I never expected to hear that from you, Toshi. Do your shoulders hurt again? Do you want me to put something on them? It's alright. You are probably tired too. I can manage. Tendo huffed and got up to get a pain-relieving cream from the bathroom. Nonsense. If we don't do anything about it, you'll be really sore tomorrow. He returned with the ointment and motioned for Ushijima to take off his shirt. It was one of the rituals they established early on in their relationship, even before they started dating. Ushijima's shoulders were always the most problematic part of his body after long practices, and Tendo was one of the few people he entrusted his health to. Tendo hadn't told Ushijima that, but he signed up for a massaging course about a year ago for this very reason. It was incredibly satisfying for him to feel his boyfriend relaxing under his touch, and even leaning into it. Alright, that should do it. Now, do you want to take a nap? Or do you want something to eat first? You cooked? Of course. You have to eat, even if you came home late. Then please food first. Tendo grinned. Alright, food is it then. Thank you, Satori, for everything. Smiling, Tendo pinched Ushijima's cheek before heading back to the kitchen. No worries, that's why I'm here. But you really shouldn't overwork yourself this much. It's not healthy. What will happen if you hurt yourself? You need to be careful. We don't want your star career to end early, right? A deep sigh sounded from the living room. I know. But I also know you'll be with me even if something like that happens. So I'm not scared of any injury or illness. Tendo's heart fluttered and he felt his cheeks warming up. Of course I will be here. Always. He quickly warmed up the rice and salmon and put a few cookies on an extra plate. The challenge can wait. He walked to the couch and smiled, putting the plates on the table. He ran his fingers through the soft hair of his now soundly sleeping boyfriend, leaning down to press a small kiss on Ushijima's temple. Sleep tight, miracle boy. Oikawa grunted and flopped back on the bed. It was a petty argument that made him suggest this challenge. It probably wasn't even an argument, considering he and Iwaizumi bickered all the time. But Oikawa being Oikawa couldn't let Iwaizumi get off the hook that easily. And so here he was, staring into the ceiling and thinking about the best payback. I'll show Hajime who is annoying. Toru, come downstairs. Oikawa grinned. This was the perfect opportunity to start. He didn't answer and instead just rolled over and buried his face into the pillow. Toru, come on, the food is ready. Oikawa's stomach grumbled at the mention of food. He hadn't eaten much that day, and so he slowly got up, walking down the stairs without the usual excitement he had when food was served. Iwaizumi busied himself with preparing the table, only quickly raising his gaze to look at Oikawa. Oi, what took you so long? And don't tell me you didn't hear me. I was shouting at the whole house. I was just thinking. I hope you didn't hurt yourself. Meanie. Oikawa sat to the table without any further comments, stifling a laugh when he noticed Iwaizumi's confused expression. Thank you for the food. He dug into the meal as slowly as he could, which was quite a task because Iwaizumi was known for his great cooking skills, and Oikawa had to restrain himself from devouring the whole bowl at once. Iwaizumi watched him with a growing frown, staring at him from the opposite chair. Oikawa stopped with the chopsticks halfway to his mouth. Anything wrong? Iwaizumi blinked and quickly turned his attention to the food. No. Okay then. Iwaizumi huffed. He didn't speak for the rest of the dinner, which wasn't an abnormal behavior for him. He was never a big talker, as Oikawa did most of the talking anyway. But something felt different, and Oikawa wasn't sure if he liked it. After dinner, they settled in front of the TV. Oikawa made sure there was some space between them and sat at the opposite part of the couch. Iwaizumi hesitated before getting the remote. What do you want to watch? Oikawa shrugged. Whatever you find. Are you sure you're okay? You are never this tame about choosing what we watch. Which was true, Oikawa had to admit. No evening went by without him negotiating, whining, about what they were going to watch. I just don't have preference today. Alright. But if you start complaining in the middle of the movie, I'll smack you. You do that anyway. Iwaizumi flinched and quickly turned on the TV. Oikawa furrowed his brow in confusion. His words were meant to be like his usual teasing that accompanied their whole relationship. There was no reason for Iwaizumi to physically flinch at the mention of that. What is it, Hajime? After that exchange, Iwaizumi stopped talking completely. He just stared at the screen as if deeply immersed in the movie. But Oikawa knew better, especially because they were watching a UFO documentary, something Iwaizumi would never put on his own. He threw occasional glances at his boyfriend, completely forgetting about the challenge from his growing worry. Hajime? What's wrong? Iwaizumi blinked but kept staring ahead. Nothing. Don't lie to me. I can tell something is happening in that head of yours. I told you it's nothing. Oikawa pouted and curled his arms over his chest. Sure, that's why you put on an alien documentary even though you hate them. It's not like we ever watch anything else. Oikawa felt a sting of guilt in his chest when he realized it was true. They usually settled for whatever he wanted to watch, completely disregarding what Iwaizumi wanted. Are you mad? I'm not. Hajime. I'm not, really. He suddenly stood up, handing the remote to Oikawa. Here, put on something you enjoy. Where are you going? I just remember I have to finish some stuff. Don't worry about it. Oikawa could just watch as his boyfriend walked swiftly towards their small office and closed the door behind him, unable to form a coherent thought for a moment. If the voice in his head telling him something was wrong was barely a whisper before, now it was screaming at him. He turned off the TV and rushed after Iwaizumi. He pulled on the handle, but the door stayed closed. He hesitated before knocking softly on the wood. Hajime? Let me in, please. I told you I'm just doing some things. Then why do you lock the door? You never do that. I'm surprised to know what I do. That's... Of course I do. You're my boyfriend, remember? I do. Do you? What are you talking about? What's wrong? Did I do something? I'm sorry if I did. It wasn't on purpose. There was a deep sigh from behind the door, followed by quiet shuffling. It's not your fault. It was bound to happen sooner or later. Oikawa tried the handle again, even though he knew it was useless. You are really making me worried right now. Please talk to me. You know I'm dumb. I don't understand. You aren't dumb. Stop saying things like that. Then what? Are you putting a distance between us? Oikawa froze. What? You act more distant, Toru. You have been for some time now. I thought I was imagining it, but today, Are you tired of me? Oikawa's heart rate spiked up in panic. I'm not tired of you. How could I be? I should be the one asking that. I didn't notice I was acting different. It's fine. I don't blame you. Oikawa was in full panic mode now. He remembered they keep a spare key to the office in the hallway and rushed to get it. Iwaizumi jumped when Oikawa barged through the door. He quickly turned away his head, but Oikawa wasn't blind, and his heart broke seeing the tears in Iwaizumi's eyes. He threw his arms around Iwaizumi's neck, squeezing him in a tight hug. I'm not tired of you. I was just doing a challenge today because I was mad that you called me annoying. But I'm not tired of you. I'm sorry if I was cold to you. I just have so much to do with the school and leaving to Argentina and all that. He felt Iwaizumi's shoulders fall and inwardly curled his too fast tongue. He was well aware his leaving was a sensitive topic for the other man. I'm sorry, Hajime. I'm so sorry. Iwaizumi shook his head and returned the hug. Don't be. It's your dream, and I'm proud of you. I'm not sure how that whole long-distance relationship thing will work for us. It will be fine. Remember what we always said when we were kids? That it's always gonna be us together against the odds of the world? Yep, I still stand by that. Iwaizumi sniffed and finally relaxed. I do too. Sorry for being difficult. You aren't. That's my role in this relationship. Iwaizumi chuckled, which made Oikawa's heart skip a beat. Damn right. Oikawa pouted. And here I was hoping for some soothing words. Don't forget you just did a challenge that scared the hell out of me. Hey, you were the one who called me annoying. And I told you something nice. Your turn. I love you. Oikawa blushed. That will do. Love you too, Hajime. Semi sat in his music room, tuning up his guitar and thinking. He had started the challenge in the morning already, but unsurprisingly, Shirabu didn't say a single word about it, even when Semi stopped talking altogether later in the evening. He wasn't sure how to feel about it. He would never call his boyfriend ignorant, and he would fully understand Shirabu's insusceptibility to his changed behavior during exams. But now it was the rare time when Shirabu cared about other things beside his studies, and yet he didn't pick up on an obvious change in his behavior. Sighing, he ran his fingers over the strings. I shouldn't be surprised. I expected that, didn't I? He decided to occupy his mind with a new song he was composing. He closed his eyes and let his fingers run over the strings, creating the melody without thinking. It wasn't for their band repertoire, just for him. And for Shirabu. And he was going to pour his heart out into it. He opened his eyes when he felt his fingers getting tired, and jumped when he noticed Shirabu sitting opposite of him on a chair with his head laid on his knees. How long were you listening? About 10 minutes. I came to tell you dinner's ready, but I heard you composing, so I just waited until you are done. He unwrapped himself and leaned back, crossing his legs. It's pretty. How is it called? It doesn't have a name. I won't play it in concerts anyway. Pity. I think it would be a success. Sammy smiled lightly. Maybe, but it's not for others to hear. Why did you stay here? I like watching you composing. You always get super relaxed, and you have this dreamy expression on your face. I do? Yeah. You get even prettier, you know? I'm glad I can see you in moments like this. He paused and averted his gaze for a moment, playing with his fingers. You know I love you, right? I know, but why are you telling me now? No reason, just remember it, okay? Alright? Shirabu nodded, seemingly content with their conversation, and got up. Come on, let's eat. You can play after you ate something. Sammy's heart melted. He put down the guitar and followed Shirabu to the living room, where, to his surprise, he found a full-on feast waiting for them on the table. He even spotted his favorite sushi right next to the bowls of ramen and rice with chicken. You did all this? Shirabu blushed. Not everything. I'm not that good with cooking, so I ordered something too. We can watch that movie you wanted to see afterwards. If you are in mood for that, of course. Are we celebrating something? No. I just thought you might feel a bit better. Better? Well, you were really quiet today, and I didn't know why. You don't usually want to talk about what troubles you when someone asks, so I thought I could at least make you feel a bit better with this. He gently caressed Sammy's hand with his thumb. You don't have to tell me what's wrong, but if you want to talk, I'm here. Sammy was rendered speechless for a while, feeling bad for his earlier thoughts. Then he smiled lovingly and squeezed blushing Shirabu in his arms. Thanks, Genji. I'm sorry for the trouble. Don't apologize. Bad days happen. Sit down or it's going to get cold. Shirabu paused before reaching up and giving Sammy a quick peck on the lips. Sammy smiled, ruffling Shirabu's hair playfully. He sat down and pulled the younger on his lap, wrapping his arms around his waist. You are the best, do you know that? Shirabu ran his fingers through the ash-blonde hair. Of course. At least your taste in partners is better than your fashion sense. Hey, leave my fashion sense alone. Don't think I don't know how you basically drool when I wear those high boots with the leather jacket. Shirabu's face slowly started to resemble a ripe tomato. How dare you? I'm not drooling. You can tell that outfit is horrible by the amount of squealing fans that are always around you when you wear it. Sammy grinned. Do I smell jealousy? Dream on. He tried to get up, but Sammy held him firmly in place and nuzzled his nose into Shirabu's neck. You know I wear it just for you, right? I don't care how many squealing fans like it. Shirabu sighed, making himself comfortable on Sammy's lap. I know. I just don't like listening to them talking about how hot you are. Don't worry about it. My eyes are on you and you only. I love you, and no fan can ever steal me away from you. I sure hope so. Come on, say it back. I already said... Ugh, never mind. He cupped Sammy's face. I love you too. But if any fan gets too close, I know how to hide a body. Semi snickered and snatched a piece of sushi, holding it in front of Shirabu's mouth for the other to eat. Note taken. Kyotani was staring at him again. Yahaba shuddered under the intense gaze of his boyfriend's amber eyes, but continued to study the recipe he was working on for the last hour. This is so stupid, why did I agree to it? He felt bad for doing a challenge like this now, since it was one of the rare occasions they were at home together for the whole day. Their schedules weren't the most friendly to the quality couple time. But the sooner he was done with the challenge, the better. He decided the best way to end it as soon as possible was to almost completely ignore Kyotani, answering only in short sentences and looking sad. Even someone like Kyotani would pick up on that early on, and they could go on with their regular day. To his surprise, however, Kyotani still didn't say a word about the shift. Either he's oblivious or he just doesn't care. He shook his head, shooing away the second thought. He knew Kyotani cared about him. He had shown it enough times already. Maybe he's enjoying the peace when you don't blabber about your work constantly. Just as he thought that, two strong arms wrapped firmly around his waist. Yahaba startled, almost spilling the contents of the pot he held all over himself. Jesus Christ, how many times do I have to tell you not to sneak up on me like this? Kyotani hummed and laid his head on Yahaba's shoulder, apparently unbothered by Yahaba's sputtering. You should be paying attention to your surroundings. I made enough noise to wake up a corpse. Yahaba shot him a glare, taking a deep breath to calm down his racing heart. What do you want? You are awfully quiet today. I thought it was just one of your mood swings, but they never last this long, so something must be going on. Excuse me, I don't have any mood swings. Sure you don't. Kentaro, I have a pot of boiling water in my hand and you are on very thin ice. See? Mood swings. If you were a woman, I would say you are pregnant. Yahaba gasped. Are you calling me emotionally unstable? A little bit. How dare you? I'll let you know that I am perfect. He squealed as Kyotani suddenly scooped him up bridal style. He quickly held onto his boyfriend's shoulders, letting go of the pot. Are you crazy? I could have burned you. But you didn't. Kyotani turned off the stove and carried blushing Yahaba out of the kitchen. Let me down, I have to finish it. Not gonna happen. Kentaro! Nope. He sat down on the couch, positioning Kyouhaba so the silver-haired man could sit on his lap while facing him. Now tell me what's wrong. Nothing is wrong. Cut the crap. You are never this quiet. It's nothing. Shigeru, I'm not letting you go until you tell me what is happening. So spill it. Yahaba sighed and wrapped his arms around Kyotani's neck. I was doing a challenge. Nothing to worry about. Oikawa again? Yeah, sorry. Don't be. I'm glad you are okay. Yahaba smiled and scratched the short bleached hair. Were you worried about me? Of course. You always talk so much and suddenly you went all quiet. So you picked up on that? Yeah, a few hours ago, but I wasn't sure what to do about it. You usually want space when you are angry, but you always want attention when you are distressed, and I wasn't sure which one was this case. So I just kinda waited, but it was too long, so here we are. Yahaba chuckled. You know me well, huh? I wonder why. Maybe because we have a 4-year anniversary next month? Couldn't be that. Yahaba huffed a laugh and tried to get up, but was held in place by a strong grip on his hips. Come on, let me go. I have to finish cooking. Kyotani shook his head and pulled him closer. Cooking can wait. Can. You weren't speaking to me the whole day because of some stupid challenge. I deserve some attention. So shut up and give me my cuddles. Yahaba sighed. You are such a needy bastard sometimes. Kyotani shrugged, unbothered. You get what you agreed to date. Yahaba hummed and seated himself more comfortably. No regrets on my side. Good.